Hey guys! Today we're gonna play with this new palette from Makeup Revolution, which was made in collaboration with Soph Does Nails. It comes in this very pretty slim packaging and I mostly bought it because of the pretty shades in here. But first let's talk about the packaging. In here you get this plastic little thingy with all the shades written on, which I really don't like because it's so... I'm just gonna lose it. But what I do like is this giant beautiful mirror over here, and I usually don't really care for mirrors in the palettes, but I actually use this one. Oh yes, and the shades. These are the reason that I bought this palette, because they're so pretty. Some are bright and some are quite neutral, so I think you can make so many eye looks with it. I'm not gonna do a full review and swatches in this video because I think it would be too long, but I will post it on my blog, which I will link down below if you would like to check that out. And now let's get into the 3 looks that I decided to do with this palette. It's time for the look number 1. This one will be a bit more precise and a bit more classy, so I've put tape here on my eyes and I already primed my eyes and powdered them, so I can just get into the palette. First I'm gonna start with this light shade, which is called, let me check this thingy, it's called Iced Coffee, and I'm gonna put it in my crease, but I'm gonna be quite messy with it, so I'm gonna go quite high up to the brows, and I'm not really gonna be very careful how far down it goes on my lid. Next I'm gonna use this shade, which is one up from the previous one, and this one is called... Oh, I really don't like checking this plastic here. It's called Tiramisu, and I'm gonna be slightly more precise with it in my crease. And now I'm taking a clean blending brush and just blend everything together a bit more. To intensify my crease a bit more, I'm gonna take this dark brown shade here, which is called Mug Cake, and I'm gonna use this a bit more tapered blending brush so I can be more precise. For all over my lid, I'm gonna use this golden kind of shade called Sparks Fly, which I think it's so pretty. And now to blend out the edges, I'm gonna go in with a bit more of that second color that we used, and I'm using the first brush, the blending one. And again going in with a clean one and blend out even more. And now to intensify my outer corners, I'm gonna take a bit more dense blending brush, and I'm gonna first go in with that same shade that we just used, so the second one over here. I'm gonna sort of pat it here on my outer corners. And again more blending. And to deepen out my outer corners even more, I'm going in with this dark brown shade that we used before, but I'm gonna focus it more on the outer portion. And I'm using that same dense brush. To clean up under my brow bone, I'm gonna mix these 2 shades. So now I'm gonna do the rest of my face and I'll be right back so we can finish the eyes. The rest of my face is on. I hope you didn't have to wait for too long. Jokes aside, let's get back to the eyes. So for my lower lash line, I'm first gonna go in with that second shade that we used. Let me check the name again. It's Tiramisu. I could really remember that by now, right? I've put it all over my lower lash line, and now I'm gonna connect it upwards, and I'm gonna smudge this harsh line just a little bit to soften it up. I just like it a bit more when it looks a bit softer, but if you prefer this clean line, you can also leave it like that. For my inner corners, I'm gonna use this lightest shimmery shade over here. It's called Fairy Light, such a pretty name, and I'm also gonna use it under my brows. Now I'm gonna line my upper lash line with this Urban Decay 24/7 Glide Eye Pencil, and it's in the shade Crave. I'm not gonna be too precise because I'm gonna smudge it out. So just the mascara and we're done. I'm gonna use the Volume Stylist from Essence. This mascara is starting to get a bit clumpy. I think I'm gonna need to buy a new one. So that's the finished eye look. I hope you like it. It's actually one of my favorites, so I'm really happy the way it turned out. I think it's very sophisticated and very fancy, and I don't know, I just like the way it elongates my eyes. It's time for the second look. This one will be a bit more bold, but very easy to make. First, I'm gonna go in with this transition shade here, but if you want this look to be a bit more cool toned, you can also use this one here. They're called Kappa T, or the cooler one is called Pug. As you could see, I went quite high up with this first transition shade, and now I'm gonna take a bit more tapered blending brush and I'm gonna deepen up my crease with this shade over here. And this one is called, where is it? Mug Cake. I only took the tiniest amount, so I will slowly build up my crease. And now I'm just gonna blend out the edges with that first brush. Okay, next is the important part, the bold color. I will choose this green one over here and put it all over my lid, but you can do the same with this purple one or with this duochromatic over here, or actually any bold color that you have. Where's the pigment? Well, that's quite disappointing because this one doesn't translate that well to the eyes with the brush. Well, with lots of building up, I finally made it to work, but now I have a ton of fallout under my eyes and I'm not sure whether I'm gonna be able to remove it. But anyway, let's just move on and I'll fix that in the end. Now I'm gonna mix these two lighter shades here and clean up under my brow bone. And for the lower lash line, I'm going in with this color and put it all over. And for my outer corners, I'm going in back with that deeper brown shade that I used in my crease as well. And now I need to go clean up that mess and I'll be right back. I think I was able to remove almost all of the fallout. It went away quite easily with a fluffy brush, and I also remembered that I forgot to blend my crease after I applied the green shade, so I'm gonna do that now. I didn't put any more product on the brush, it's just that first brush that we were blending with in the beginning. And now for my inner corners, I'm going in with this lightest shimmery shade. Wow, this one is very bright. That's it for the eyeshadow. Now I'm just gonna apply some mascara and some black liner to my upper waterline. I'm gonna use this one from Essence, it's Volume Stylist, and I really like it. It gives me lots of volume and length, and it's really long lasting. If you have problems with your mascara smudging off in the middle of the day, try with this one. And I'm going in with the Kiko eyeliner. Okay, I did my eyeliner off camera because I cannot do it without pulling my eyelids a bit up, and I think that looks quite disgusting, so I didn't want to show you that, but I just lined my upper waterline and I'm crying now. So that's the finished look number 2. We had some problems on the road with the green eyeshadow, which had lots of fallout and it really didn't want to stick to my eyelid, but I think the result in the end is beautiful nonetheless. For the third look, I would like to play with some brighter colors in the palette and create sort of a monochromatic look. First, I'm gonna go in with this transition shade called Pug. Yes, I remembered one name. And now to brighten everything, I'm gonna go in with this orange shade, which is called Pumpkin, and I'm gonna also put it in the crease, but with a very light hand. As you can see, it's very pigmented because I barely touched the color with a brush. Now I'm taking a clean brush and blending everything together. To intensify my crease, I'm going in with this dark brown shade over here and a bit more tapered blending brush to be more precise, like you've seen me do in other looks as well. And this shade is called, nope, didn't remember this one, it's Mug Cake. And again blending with that first brush. For the star of the show, I'm going in with this beautiful coppery shade, which is called Copper Coin, and I'm gonna put it all over my eyelid. And now I need to blend everything together, and I'm gonna add a tiny bit more of that bright shade that we used before in the crease. That shimmery shade was very beautiful, but it does have some fallout, so be careful of that. So now I'm gonna go clean it up and I'll be right back. Actually, I thought I can show you how to clean up the fallout. So I'm taking this small brush that I used for powdering my under eye, and it still has some powder on, and I just try to dust off all the fallout that's under my eyes. There we go, problem solved, and now we can go back to the eyes. So I'm gonna mix these two light shades to clean up under my brow bone. And for my lower lash line, I'm first going in with that first transition shade called Pug. For my outer corners, I'm gonna use Mug Cake again. I'm gonna lighten up my inner corners with this bright shade over here. This one has such a pretty name, let me check. Fairy Lights, right? This one is really so beautiful and bright. So that's it for the palette. Now I'm just gonna line my upper lash line with a brown pencil. This one is from L'Oreal and I actually just got it yesterday. It's called Infaillible Gel Crayon 24 Hours and it's supposed to be waterproof. And for my lashes, I'm gonna use the Lash Paradise Mascara. I've put some lipstick on off camera. It's the one from Catrice, the matte one in the shade 010, and that's the finished look. It's a bit more bright and fun, and I think it's great for these rainy days that we have lately. So these were the 3 looks with the Soph palette, and I hope you got some inspiration from them. I really like this palette. I think the shade selection is beautiful, and even though some shades sort of disappointed me, I will probably still continue to use them just because they are so pretty. Anyway, if you would like to see a full review and swatches, I will link my blog post down below, as I said earlier. And that's it for today, so see you next time. Bye! And now I'm just gonna... And for my outer corners... And for my outer corner, I'm going in with that black shade, not black. Now I'm just gonna line my upper